Please welcome Kenneth Morris.
My grandmother's phone numbers haven't changed for decades. 713-228, dot, dot, dot. 713-738, dot, dot, dot. Fifth Ward and South Park, respectively. For those of us born in the 1900s, we remember those days we had those phones attached to the wall or the rotary phone connected to a landline, hoping the person on the other end pick up. We didn't have call waiting back then. Can you imagine that? For me, growing up during that time was humbling, to say the least. I grew up with my grandmothers. Fifth Ward to South Park to United States Navy. My job in the Navy, when you go to sleep at night, I get on my secret covert aircraft. Across vast oceans, I listen underwater for diesel and nuclear submarines. I can tell you how fast it's going. I can tell you how deep it is. I can tell you how much the armament impact will be if it hits America. I barely graduated high school. My GPA was 2.1. What I say to young people now, when they see me, they see where I am, my trajectory, where I came from. It's not about where I started. It's about my mindset and what others invested into me and to what got me here now. But I digress. As we speak about our current situations, as we speak about what others have poured into us, I feel we have a sacred responsibility to honor that. You don't have to be a pilot. You can be an accountant. You can be a broker, an entrepreneur. But somebody, somewhere cared enough to invest in you, and we have a sacred responsibility to pay that back. I speak about my grandmothers. She's in the category of awe that I often place with Mrs. Azalea White. For those who are unaware of Mrs. Azalea White, she's the first black woman to get a pilot license in the state of Texas in 1946. Think about that. A black woman flying airplanes in Texas in 1946. She's now in the Aviation Hall of Fame. My grandmothers didn't fly airplanes, but they soared through me. Mrs. Azalea White, what many don't know, she and her husband, legendary Tuskegee Airman Hulan Pappy White, who was a mechanic. They created the first airport here in Houston to train black people to fly. That airport was around until 1948. Now only a brick remains of that airport. So when we talk about my flights, when we talk about flights of people who not only look like me, men and women, when we're piloting that cockpit thousands of feet above the earth, it's their dreams we're carrying. It's their sacrifices. It's their beliefs. How do we honor those beliefs? For me, it starts with three things: integrity, never giving up, and pouring back into those who come behind me. So how does that look? Let's start with integrity. It's not what I do publicly. I got on a flight suit. Of course you're going to respect me and think I'm doing great things. But when I take my flight suit off, how do I carry myself? What's my language I use around young people who look up to me? What do I do with the young people who not only look up to me, but the ones that's looking up to them? What kind of example am I setting? I lead with integrity, publicly, privately, and professionally. Second, no matter how hard things get, I never give up. Never. What people don't know I failed, but I failed forward. Since 1998, when I started, until 2024, I've never had a blemish on my flying record at all. I was an early promote. I went from E1 to E5 in 3 years, which is pretty much unheard of. What they didn't know is I was terrified of heights. To this day, I don't really like heights. That sounds crazy, right? But I looked my fear in the eye, and I thought about what my grandmothers, Mrs. Zelia White, Mr. Hulan Pappy White, and those who came before me, what they invested into me. And I have a sacred responsibility to do my very best, regardless of the situation that I'm in. The third thing is my commitment to reinvest into those who follow behind me. That's how I honor their legacy. That's how I honor everything, not only my grandmothers, but others who believe in me, who gave me positive words when they didn't know I needed it the most. So when you see someone who's in my space that looks like me, that's flying aircraft, that's working on aircraft, that's getting you from point A to point B, I know you get on the plane, get to your gate, hope it's not delayed for any reason, but there's a lot of investment there. There's a lot of investment. I'll tell you the one time, and this still haunts me to this day, that I dishonored that investment. So we're flying, and on my plane, it's the size of a commercial aircraft. Everything inside the plane is secret. I'm the only African American on the plane. There's 10 more people that are non-African American, all males. I'm a bit younger, so I'm trying to find my place. Growing up, I never thought about being a pilot. I had no exposure to it. Nobody else in my family was a pilot. I was actually homeless. So I'm on this plane, and I'm thinking, how can I fit in? This is the one time that I regret saying what I said. We're flying, I can't tell you exactly where. And in the back of the plane, we have what we call the galley. The galley is where we make our food and eat and table. We play cards because we fly for 10 to 12 hours at a time. Every flight is at least 10 hours. So we need food. So we're going to a different country, and the person in charge asks, does anybody speak a different language? I'm not bilingual, but I'm a young guy looking to fit in, hoping to get accepted. And the first person said, hey, yeah, I speak Spanish. Okay, great. Another person on the plane spoke French. Another guy spoke German. So then they all looked at me. I said, yeah, I speak Ebonics. I was like, man. As soon as it came out. So I said that because, one, I do. But two, I felt like I had to say something. But it was a dishonor to the people that look like me, the people that grew up in Fifth Ward, the people that grew up in Third Ward, in South Park, Chicago, and Miami. I dishonored that. And I hold that with me to this day. So when I speak about how do we honor the investment of people that poured into us, it's those little moments. Nobody knew that except the people on that plane. But I'm the only one that carried that guilt. So when you think about how you move forward, I implore you lead with integrity. No matter what happens, never give up. And finally, and most importantly, you reinvest what was invested in you. Thank you.